Oh, infrastructure. So what kind of infrastructure does a small farm need for a small vegetable farm need? So the first thing, probably the most important thing, besides soil, right? But you can build soil. So it's great to find a place that already has great soil, but a lot of times that's not what small farmers are working with. And so there's ways to build soil over time. To grow vegetables well in Texas, you really need some sort of irrigation. So whether it's rainwater catchment, the problem is like when you really need irrigation water, it's not raining, right? And so you use that water and then it's done. So then are you using municipal water, which has chlorine, but also is expensive? Or do you have some other water source? But it's very, very difficult. It is done and can be done, but it's really hard to do it profitably, to have a consistent yield without irrigation and like reliable irrigation water. The next thing that you really need is cold storage. So you do all this work to grow this crop. It's beautiful, it's delicious. And then if it's out in the sun too long, it's done, it's over, right? So being able to get things into, cooled off and into cold storage quickly and efficiently is going to maintain a much higher quality for a much longer time. It also is less labor for the farmer. Like there's some farmers that are doing this without, with like igloo coolers, and they're having to go to the farm and harvest before they go to the market at 8 a.m. So they're out there in the dark with headlamps harvesting for a market, and because they don't have cold storage. So that is just it's not sustainable for their person. And so cold storage is really important. It could be a fridge, but a lot of times what we're doing is creating an insulated shed of some sort or insulated room. And then there's this thing called a CoolBot that tricks a window air conditioner into going colder. Like it actually like physically warms up the temperature sensor so that AC just keeps running. And you can bring down a well insulated room down to like the 36 degrees or so that you would really want for most of your produce. Or you're growing things that don't need that kind of cool storage, like you can do cucumbers and tomatoes and eggplant and peppers, and some of the fruiting crops don't want to be that cold, and people have them in their like living rooms. So then you have to have a partner that is okay with that. That can be tricky. So cold storage, and then I would say then the greenhouse is maybe the least important of those things, but is important, especially purchasing plants on a farm scale can be too expensive. But sometimes you can work with other farms or do something, be able to, and like a greenhouse can be real scrapped together. It can be pretty low tech. So that one, the cold storage is actually way more important than the greenhouse. I think you can start a vegetable farm without a greenhouse. It's just a little harder. Or some people do like grow lights in their garage and things like that. But those are the primary things. And then there's tools, your harvest tools, your tools you would need for working the soil, cultivation tools. And that too can be pretty simple, just depending on what scale. But the irrigation and the cold storage are pretty essential. Yeah, a lot of farms are like they don't even have electricity. People are starting farming without even electricity, and that really just limits what people can do. Questions? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of both. I mean, I think that's one of so the question is, how do you kind of train that, like the amount of work it takes to farm, basically, like how to set that expectation. A lot of people are self-selecting already, but that's one of the benefits of doing something like Farmer Starter before you like buy land or buy a tractor, is you can figure out if you actually want to do this. Because we do throw you out there and try to, it's scaffolded. We kind of work you up, but we try to get you to a place where you can feel what it feels like in your body to be running a farm and see if it's right for you. Some people are like, yes, this is the thing for me. And some people are like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Thanks. But it's so much better to find that out before you make any sort of investment or like really, I mean, it takes a lot of commitment to do Farmshare because it is 3 days a week and it's for 5 months and it's, you know, some people hold part-time jobs or, you know, they have a partner that can support them during the time, but it's a commitment. But we do it that way because if you're going to want to start to farm as a career, it's going to be a commitment. But we look at it pretty frankly. You know, we look at the economics frankly. We look at the social struggles frankly. And it's not an easy thing to do. And everyone needs to eat. And it can be incredibly fulfilling to watch someone eat something that you planted that seed. You know, like there's just something so beautiful about that. And we're trying to cultivate a community of people who want to work together to do this. Like I think a lot of the antidotes to you know, that our economic system does not support small farmers is somewhere in that collaboration, cooperation space. You know, how do we work together to be able to do this as a community rather than like all of these individual farmers working 40 hours every 3 days? I don't know, you know, like working like 80-hour weeks. You know, what are those things that we can partner on and be able to like, you know, rising tide floats all boats sort of thing. There's so much need and so much demand for local food that competing with each other just doesn't make any sense. And so what are those ways that we can build community around feeding our community and be working together to lighten the load for each other? It's hard, but it's also really fun. Yeah, it's like you're telling me that you the gardening called you. You know, I could kind of feel like that. Yeah, once I started this, it was no turning back. Yeah. It's heated with $85 Amazon little heaters. So no, not really. We have space heaters on thermostats. And then we have one of our tables. Well, we have like a whole line of tables that we have pipe straps and PVC over. And then we cover that with a really heavy duty row cover that we use out in the field too. And then underneath that, it's safe. No, but they're on thermostats and they're made for greenhouses. Underneath that, we have these smaller space heaters that are pretty, you know, cheap. But they're on thermostats. They're set at 45 degrees. And that was enough to keep everything alive and thriving for the 3 days of like 24 degrees outside. We got like a little Wi-Fi enabled thermometers. And so I was like constantly on my phone, like, is everything alive? Is everything alive? Which I don't know if it was better or worse than not knowing. I have no idea. But that was enough. And usually, because it's usually like 1 or 2 nights a year. So like, it didn't make sense to try to get a propane tank and a big heater and all that stuff. So we've been able to manage with the little space heaters. They are waterproof. Like we didn't do that at first. We had like just like house spray, but don't recommend that. You know, but now we have like proper ones that won't, you know, fry if they get wet. So, but you know, a lot of farming is creative problem solving. Yeah, which is something I enjoy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it. And I think it does, you know, farming does call a certain type of person who enjoys the challenge of that constant problem solving and finds real joy and excitement in that. And yeah, there's nothing prescriptive about farming. There's always something new, always something, always. Oh, that's cool. I think there's a lot of room. Yeah, and there's a lot of room for like tree propagation in particular. Like there's not a lot of businesses in the area really focusing on that, both in terms of like edible trees and in terms of trees that are more suited to a changing climate. I think that that is a great business idea. I think there's demand for that. Right. Yep. Those are like just bare rooted little whips. Yeah. Yeah, I only know how to get that if they're fruit trees. There are some nurseries that will do that. But I wonder, I know like Tree Folks is looking at how to start more of the trees that they use in here and like work with local growers to be doing more of a tree nursery situation. And they're looking at maybe having a training program for that, but I don't know if that's real yet. I hope I'm not giving away any secrets, but I think it's a great idea. I hope they do it because it's skills that we need in our community. Oh, okay. Yeah. So in the fall, we should look for more information about learning to start trees. Oh, great. So yeah, so I was just in case because it's being recorded, or should I repeat that? Um, I don't know if it's still recording on there. If I should repeat what he said. So it was Tree Folks Nursery Days, Wednesday and Friday. What do you have a time? 9 to noon. Check the website to sign up. And then in the fall, they're hoping to pilot a training program to help people be able to start like small tree nurseries. Is that an appropriate way of talking about it? Great. I'm so excited about that. I want to take your class. Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Okay.